Thank you for clocking in with your girl Lo. Welcome back to my channel. Now, it's the afternoon, but I've already opened a Coke Zero and had about 2 chocolate chip cookies. You guys know the little cute raccoon over Pocahontas when he's like going in on the biscuits? That's how I felt. That's how I feel today. So be better. Be better than me, okay? Do what I say, not what I do. Laptop died with my notes. I'm just trying to freaking make this video. Why do my 20s suck? Or do they? Let's break it down here. In my late 20s. And what I have learned is life goes on. There's conversations with you that stick with you. And those conversations can possibly change the way you view life. So today it's going to be a little chit chat with me. A little talk with your girl, Lo. I got married very young. I got married at the age of 20 years old. And I was working at a dog self-wash, okay? And this lady came in 30 minutes before we closed. Love that. And she asked, like, what's your plans next couple years? I swear I was going to get married within a year. I was 19 at the time. And yeah, I'll be moving out of state. And the career that my husband had at the time, he would be traveling the world a lot. And there'd be possible options for me to tag along on a few of those trips. And she was like, oh my gosh, you're going to be so taken care of. You're not going to have to worry about anything. Oh my goodness, it's going to be so great for you. And she made it very clear that from her perspective, from the life that she has lived, that her 20s was her prime time. And I remember that conversation really stuck with me. And I began to think, like, man, is my 20s going to be the ultimate time for me? Is everything else going to be downhill from there? I didn't even think about how much that conversation impacted me. And I began to view life that way. Like, my 20s, that's it. That's where my prime is going to be. And I had all these expectations. I'm going to be blowing money left and right, stacking M's, stacking millions, making bank, spending money left and right, confident. I know what I'm doing. Girl night every weekend. No. Instead, what happened? Broken friendships. Kind of lost touch of myself, figuring out my own traditions, budgeting, a lot of budgeting, confused, lack of confidence, some doubt. So let's get into it. Struggle number one that I think many people face in their 20s that can for sure lead into your 30s. And if you're above that age and if you still feel these things, know that you are seen and you are heard. Career and school struggles. It's struggles aren't the right word. Pure confusion. Pure confusion. So between the ages of 17 and 19, I dropped out of college twice. When I was the age of 21, I decided to go back to school and be an adult learner. And I could tell the difference. When I was an adult learner, I was not here to play games. A clinical psychologist and a forensic psychologist. Then I wanted to be a therapist. And then eventually, before me being an adult learner, before I started like real college, I was like, oh, I want to be a vet assistant. So I got all my certifications, all my clinical work, boom, became vet assistant. Then my husband's career took us somewhere else where I could not pursue that necessarily. So I gave myself a little break, about a 6-month break, and I was like, you know what? I could do school. So I started school, adult college, you can say, at age 21, and then I got my associate's degree. You feel this expectation, like I gotta be doing something. Like I'm not longer in school. There's nothing really, I don't really have nothing's required anything of me. I had to kind of now grab life by the horns and start doing something. And I think there's a lot of stuff going on the YouTube algorithm of people just encouraging people to drop out. And this is, your girl Lo is here to tell you, okay, if college is giving you some direction, because some people just need some direction. Like they need to just have like, this is predictable in my life. It's leading me somewhere. If picking up a trade, if going right into the workforce, going right into a solid 9 to 5, that's okay. That's your path. I think there's just all this pressure that you gotta be a business owner by the time you're 25. You gotta be, having 10,000 hustles. You gotta have an Airbnb. I just figured out how to properly book myself into an Airbnb. I'm not really trying to think about owning any yet. And that's okay to be at that spot. You feel me? But I feel there's all this pressure that you gotta be there right now. And I guess I'm here to tell you, if you feel confident in school, if you feel confident in college, getting it done, and it's leading to an actual opportunity and a solid career, Just give yourself some stability. Okay, we need stability. All right, there's nothing wrong with stability. And then once you get stable, you can go out there and chase those dreams that are built, after the 9 to 5. There's nothing wrong with that. No. Give you a quick story time. Okay, I'm in my microeconomics class, or was it macro? One of them. They both confused me. But I'm in the class, and we're doing a little the demand and supply line graph. And the professor, she's trying to relate this stuff to your real life. And she's like, class, you can really relate this to your real life. And you really start to think about when you go shopping, online, shopping at the store, how this demand and supply chain really applies to your real life. And I know she meant well. I was once a teacher. I know her heart was in the right place. But for me, teach. Can I call you teach? Okay. Yeah, this is great. Great. Great, the real world examples here. But can we all as a class, can we all be united front here and teach me how I'm going to apply this to the exam that's due on Friday? Because I'm not really in the figure this out in your real life mode. I'm trying to get this done mode. I'm trying to get through this class and get this credit so I can move on to get my degree and walk with my degree. You feel me? So that was my energy during college. Oh my goodness, you know what I look like right now? Hold on. You guys know the Beetlejuice character that is like the proportions of the body and the head don't fit. This is what I'm looking like right now because this robe makes my shoulders look huge. I'm not giving the physical appearance of him. Okay, don't come for me on that. Right? Don't be cruel now. But the proportion of my head to my shoulders and my body's looking kind of off. Wow, but I'm not taking this off. I just noticed that. So I've been dealing with congestion in my nose, and I was told by my doctor to take Sudafed, and Sudafed makes me really, okay, put the microphone up here. Sudafed makes me really loopy, and it's starting to kick in. So let's hope we can get through this video. Okay? Okay. Woo! Struggle number 2 in your 20s, still feeling this need to fit in. And I thought personally I was going to be done with this after high school. I am a Christian. And obviously, a big part of being a Christian is attending church. And for some reason, I just think it's the influence of just social media, and I'm not going to get into all that everyone in my age group at my church dressed very similar, giving very, Kanye West, Yeezys, the 90s throwback look. I explained in my previous video, that's not personally my style. And a lot of the clothes for that is triple digits, high in the double digits, and my budget was not feeling that. We are day 2 recording this. Day 2. I did not think it would take me 2 days to film this video, but here we are. All of these things are very nice. I like the aesthetic. I can appreciate the style for what it is. But I began to feel this need to look like them. And like I said in my previous video, my aesthetic is more Addams Family, old glamour Hollywood, camping, rodeo, a little tomboyish at times, And it became stressful. I began to change the way I talked, my views on things. And I think that's just a very real thing in your 20s. And what I'm trying to tell you is just forget about it. I had to realize, and I got this in my mid-20s, I need to lean in into who I am designed to be. You feel much more free once you do that. Point number 3, money struggles. No one warned me. There is such an overflow of information about how to budget, taxes. Okay, getting that done today. The stock market, investing. Should you rent a home? Should you buy a home? What information do I trust? Do I need to feel good about making wealth? Do I feel guilty about making wealth? Is it bad to desire to want to be, a millionaire, be financially free, or retire my parents one day? Or should I be more selfish and stay more focused about what I'm doing, where I'm going in life? It's a lot. It's a lot. And you don't know who's right, who's wrong. It's a lot of pressure in your 20s to know everything. Like, you might feel financially or money insecure if you can't break down the most recent investing app. in all its pros and cons. I can't keep up. I'm still stuck on what happened to crypto. That's how far behind I am, okay? When it comes to money, your 20s is a time when you begin to break away from maybe the traditions of your family, how they handled money, or you build from what they did, especially if it was a good habit they had, then you build on it. And there can be growing pains with that, even grieving feelings with that. I know I grieved some things that I learned about money when I was growing up that I changed once I got in my 20s. And you could kind of feel this like you're portraying what you grew up with, so it feels weird. Or you could even begin to kind of go into this self-righteous mode, this higher horse feeling that you know money better than maybe your family grew up knowing money. I personally never struggled with that feeling, but I've seen that firsthand. And that feeling, I would encourage you to tap into that. The next thing, friendships changing. You know, I felt like in high school, my standards of friendship was very mediocre. Some would say non-existent. And then when you get in your 20s, I would say mid-20s, your friendship circle does this weird thing. It grows because maybe you're in a different career field, different job. Maybe your beliefs are changing, and I'm not saying religious, but your beliefs changing about things. So maybe your circles are getting different, and then it shrinks, then it grows, then it shrinks, and then it grows, and it can be very depressing and very sad when you feel like I'm breaking up with a friend every 6 months. I feel like I'm maybe arguing with a friend back and forth because this friend is also going through their 20s, and their point of view are changing on life. Their perspective is changing. So do I get along with that friend anymore? You're like, well, you know what's going on? Lean into that. That's normal. That's normal. There is this high expectation in your 20s to be rolling in the dough. You have a private jet. You got 5 streams of passive income. You're not only a crypto trader, you're a crypto owner. A crypto owner. You hate your 9 to 5. You don't want to be in a 9 to 5. 9 to 5 is a scam. And the reality is, I just want to be very real with you. The reality is, you may be in that grind to have that side business, but you're not there yet. You might be really happy and pleased with your 9 to 5 and thanking God that you have a 9 to 5, that stable income. You're trying to understand healthcare and what that is and why it's so stressful. But you're very thankful when you have it, when you get sick, but it's very annoying to deal with. And maybe you're trying to find a way to eventually get healthcare because you can't afford it right now. You may not have a cute and shiny pretty car. Your car might be a little lemon. Or your car might be, the good old Foxy Roxy that never dies. Trying to figure out your finances. Have to brace yourself when a budget comes up because you just want to be, you want to be confident with the income you have, want to be a good steward of your finances. And right now, you can't think about 5 other streams of income. I'm telling you right now, if that's you, you're doing 20s just fine, and that's okay. Now, on the other side, if you have 5 streams of income, you have been able to get out of your 9 to 5. You got a Mercedes or a Porsche, okay? You trade crypto like you trade bread. If that is you, then that is okay too. I'm just trying to find a middle ground here that no matter where you're at in your 20s, it's alright. But I know for a lot of us, we're on this side of the fence right now. Eventually we're going to get to this side. But right now we're on this side. Why does our 20s not suck? Why? 20 is the time to, yes, you can say learn what you like and what you want to be. But I think it's also a time of learning what you don't want and what you don't want to be. Because the 20s is a lot of trial and error. It's a lot of burn fire as we go. Let's figure this out. Oops, I failed here. Let's start back over. And it's a time where you realize maybe I don't want to be like that. And I think that's a good feeling to have, even though it may not feel good. This other thing I'm learning in my 20s is setting boundaries. Speaking of boundaries, about how not to get fooled. Okay, so a vehicle that I have right now, it's going through a little cosmetic issue with the bumper, and we found someone who's able to fix it for us. We're like, oh great, thank you. This fixing turned out to be not fixing, okay, and it makes the situation worse. And then we try to find this person, be like, hey, what did you do? Because the car's actually worse than when we gave it to you. We were ghosted. In other words, we were fooled. So that's, yes, 20s, setting boundaries for your confidence to boost. Because I know for me, I had a very timid personality in the past. And even if you really get to know me, I could be a little, to myself, more reserved. But back then, I used to be really timid, especially in my early 20s and my late teens. And I would just let life slap me around left to right. Just let me slap me all the time. Slap, 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 slap. And then I realized, after going through the situation with my car, which happened last year, so I'm still learning this, that I cannot apologize for being confident with things. If I know that I'm going to get fooled with something, or I'm not really feeling good about something, I need to say it with my chest. That's what my 20s has taught me. I need to say it with my chest. If I'm uncomfortable, I'm not saying, be a party pooper and, be whack and the person that is never invited to a party. That's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about if your physical is in danger, your mental is in danger, your money is in danger, your emotions are being gaslit, whatever it may be, spiritually be manipulated. Tap into that confidence booster and say what needs to be said, even if it comes out shaky, even if it comes out timid. The world's not going to wait for you to get confident. It's not. You got to go out there and take the effort and time to build that. Yeah, the world's not going to wait for you. That's that. I'm going to end it. That's the positive thing I've learned. The world is not going to wait for you. So you got to grab life by the freaking horns. You hear me? And grab that. And just hold on tight. I'll lean into my couch, but okay, I'll just sit up. Okay, that didn't work. What's the final takeaway here? Had for the remaining of your decades to thrive. To thrive. It's not a time to feel like you need to fit in, overstressing, feel you have everything figured out. No. Don't take yourself too serious. Take life serious. I would say. I think it's good to take life serious. Don't take yourself too serious. But what are my final thoughts? Now that I'm hitting my last year in my 20s, what have I learned along this journey? What have I learned? Well, to have fun. To have fun. I think life is meant to be taken serious. It's the very few things that happen one time. It is life. Have fun. Enjoy it. Build yourself. Build your confidence. Create the traditions that you want to create. Okay, be wise. Be a good steward of things that you have. And I'll end it with these 2 points. I believe your 20s is the foundation. It is the launching pad that you are building in order for your remaining decades to thrive. And if you feel like in your 20s, you're confused, lost, feel like you're failing left and right, then I'm here to tell you that you're doing it just right. Yes, I hit y'all with a Dr. Seuss rhyme. Thanks for clocking in with your girl Lo. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.